Blocking an avoidant ex can do one of two very different things. It can make them either quietly detached or make them obsess and wonder if they lost you. It's not the same move because blocking doesn't just remove access, it changes what an avoidant nervous system feels. And with avoidance, we know it's all about their nervous system. That's what's making the decision for them. So for some people, it's going to create pressure, and for others, it creates relief. And those two reactions lead to two totally different outcomes. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly when blocking is going to help, when it's going to backfire, and the one decision rule that makes this all very simple and very obvious. Now, years ago, I talked about blocking an ex after 60 days, and I will put the link to that video in the upper right-hand corner on YouTube. And that was not to help you move on, but to force clarity. And the idea was if someone still cared, then losing passive access and the dopamine hit that they would get from watching your stories or page would push them to act. And they'd either reach out or show that they weren't going to. So that logic still applies. That hasn't changed. Don't worry. What changes everything is, of course, as usual, avoidant attachment. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Lucia. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back or to get over your ex. And welcome back to my beautiful no contact army. I hope you've been staying in no contact. So let's get clear about blocking, because people are using it in a way that sometimes works against them. When I talk about blocking an avoidant, I'm talking about, or actually anybody, I'm talking about social media, not phone, not text, and not email. Although, I don't know, how often can you block via email? I guess it depends on the platform. So social media blocking removes story watching, low effort monitoring, and passive regulation without vulnerability, because they're using you to regulate themselves after the breakup and not feel the pain by watching your stories and your page. If there's any chance of re-engagement, there has to be a clear path for someone to reach you. So that's why you don't block them on everything, because blocking everything often resolves tension instead of creating it, especially with avoidance. Now, blocking, it was never about punishment, and it was never about disappearing. It was a pressure tactic, and pressure can create movement for some attachment styles, but for others, pressure shuts them down. So blocking can get someone to reach out if they have a secure attachment style, they have an anxious attachment style, or they're emotionally available but hesitant. So in those cases, blocking creates uncertainty and urgency. And that's why my advice worked for so many people. And by the way, this is something I work through very carefully with my coaching clients, because one wrong move could shut things down. So if you're interested in finding out about coaching with me, then contact me at my website, theartoflove.net/coaching, and we will send you the rates. And if you are in no contact right now, my Silencio app can also help you to stay regulated and avoid impulsive actions, especially when you're dealing with an avoidant. And that is available in the App Store and Google Play, and the link to that is underneath every single video and podcast. Okay, so why does blocking backfire with avoidance? Because with avoidance, blocking usually creates relief. So it relieves pressure for them, and it resolves ambivalence. So instead of thinking, I should reach out, their nervous system, their boss, says, I don't have to deal with this. So relief kills momentum. Now, also in another video titled Blocking an Avoidant Causes These 4 Things to Happen, and of course I'll put the link in the upper right-hand corner on YouTube, I explained that avoidance can feel relieved at first and then curious later, and sometimes wonder if they lost you. Now, that's still true, don't worry, but those are stages, they're not guarantees. And curiosity only shows up after safety is restored. Because if you block while they're still deactivated, then relief wins and curiosity never happens. So this is the rule I want you to memorize. Oh, and before I forget, I want to thank everyone who has hyped my video. I really appreciate that. And if you're wondering, what the heck am I talking about? Well, YouTube has this new feature where you can hype a video if you like it and you found it helpful. And they're slowly rolling it out to everyone. So if you want to see if you have that feature, then just look just directly underneath this video and you will see a hype button. And if you are liking this video, then just hit that button and hype me. And if you don't have that button yet, then you may either need to update the app or wait for it, and you will also have it at some point. So again, thank you to everyone who has hyped me so far. Okay, so the rule I want you to memorize is, if blocking would calm you, then block. If blocking is meant to provoke them, then don't. So you should block or mute or restrict if seeing their name spikes anxiety or rumination, you keep checking who viewed your stories, you're posting for them, you can't stay in no contact without spiraling. So in that case, blocking is self-regulation, not strategy. It helps you, even if it closes a door. And that's a valid trade-off because mental health is everything, right? Now, do not block if you're emotionally steady, you're not obsessing over views, you're not posting for them, your silence already creates space and contrast. So in this case, blocking usually relieves pressure for them, resolves ambivalence, reduces the chance of a reach out. So silence alone does more work than blocking ever will. So muting/restricting is a good middle ground because you don't see them, but they still see you. But hard blocking with avoidance is a strong signal, and that's often felt as rejection by them. So if you don't need to block to stay regulated, then don't. And you don't need to cut off the dopamine to make an avoidant come back. Avoidants don't fail to reach out because they're too comfortable. They don't reach out because vulnerability still feels unsafe to them. So removing comfort is not going to create safety. Removing pressure does. Blocking is not the default move with avoidance, as it is with secure or anxious. Blocking is not a reliable way to trigger them. Blocking is appropriate only for your nervous system. So if your goal is the best chance to get them back, then silence plus consistency beats blocking. And if your goal is peace, then block without guilt. Okay, hope I cleared all that up. So now I want to hear from you. How long have you been in no contact and how is it going? And if you're wondering if you're doing no contact correctly, then be sure to check out my book, No Contact Secrets, at nocontactsecrets.com, where you can read 2 free chapters before you purchase the book. And of course, the link is underneath every single video and podcast. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos and podcasts. And remember, love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.